Well, I'm here, it's day 2, and we have our beautiful, lovely, talented student. We have been doing a class for her for SMP. I have custom created the class because she had no experience in cosmetic tattooing. So we have been going through basically all the fundamentals of permanent makeup, but applying it to SMP so that she has a very solid foundation, what she's going to be going through. We've done a 4-hour bloodborne pathogen class, and we've gone through a lot of basic understanding of permanent makeup, including but not limited to. Let me know. Tell everybody what you've learned today, or the last couple days that you've been here.
We learned about the facts about permanent makeup, the devices that are used, common needles that are used, safe practices was very important, hepatitis. Very important. Hepatitis, MRSA, the anatomy of hair
And scalp.
Or wood scale. We did color theory, the Fitzpatrick scale, client management, and the needles.
Yeah.
Needles.
Oh yeah, all the needles. We've gone through all the client forms, so I've made her forms and given her forms so that she has a full understanding of client management and what's required. Today we broke down some equipment and went through some equipment, showed her how to set it up, use all the proper barrier films that are required for the practice. We did a little bit of my hand manual SMP technique, so she's the first one ever to learn this awesome technique that I created. And what's the one thing that I'm constantly on you about?
Cross-contamination.
So I'm a big stickler about safety protocol, and was fortunate to speak with the health authorities yesterday. And was able to share some of my information with them so that we can better keep the standards high within practices across BC for sure. We've gone through, how many different practice pads did we go through today?
4.
We did the latex. We did 2 different types of silicones, and just share a little bit on how those varied in your experience. Like, how did it feel in relationship from one to the other?
I definitely found some of them were a little more dense. We started with a little bit more dense, which was very different than the skin type that she provided me. And yeah, it was really interesting to feel the difference with the machine and the manual technique as well.
Yeah. And did you find that you had more dexterity, like you could feel the density of the material better than with the machine?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I really love about manual technique. I mean, you wouldn't do a whole entire head with manual technique, but you know, a lot of times people get really bad wrist fatigue when it comes to doing SMP. So doing a manual technique allows that option, or if the power went out, or you know, if your machine crapped out, or the thing that I like most about it is using it for patch test. So with doing manual, you don't have to bust out your machine, your expensive needles, wrap everything up. You know, with the manual, you've just got your handle and your needle, you know, your barrier, your areas that are required, but it's not as cumbersome, and it's also very cost effective because it's only dollars, you know, to do it, and pennies for the needle. So it's very effective that way. What was a thing today that you found the most interesting? I mean, I know that we went through something pretty unique this morning that I don't think many practitioners shared. So do you want to touch on that a little bit about how we learned about ratios and dilution?
I found it really interesting because I thought that most PMU artists only work with black ink, and I found that you can mix and make a brown, which means that there's a pigment for everybody, which I thought only people could do.
Yeah.
And just the dilution, it makes such a huge range. Yeah, I think it's just suitable for everyone now.
So I'm training her on PermaBlend pigments. So the PermaBlend scalp pigment is a very unique line because it incorporates an orange modifier, which most SMP pigments are all carbon-based, which is basically black, and it's a diluted range of black. By adding the warm modifier to it, and again, it's a proprietary blend that the carbon and the modifiers work together, allows you to create this beautiful brown range for people that have really cool skin tones and have a tendency to pull more blue. It allows you the opportunity to create something that's going to be really unique to them and also look very, very natural, and something that you can still dilute. So we created two different charts. And they're now circulating around the PMU industry because one thing about the work that I do is that I love to share, and I've been sharing since 2012. So So how many people contacted me since the time you've been here on these pigments?
At least 3.
Yeah, that's just today. So it's crazy. I get a lot of people calling or messaging me through Facebook about these pigments because people just don't understand how to use them. So when I posted the dilution ratio that we did today, the color chart, I got a lot of people messaging me going, how does this? I've never heard anything about this. Like, I just don't understand. So definitely love to share, because I think the more that we share within the industry, it elevates everybody, not just, you know, beginners, but all artists. I think the more knowledge that we share within the industry, the better it's going to be all the way around. So I sent her home with a ton of homework and lots of practice pads. So she's going to be practicing over the time when she comes back in another couple weeks. And then we'll be going over more. We're going to be covering pre and post care. We're going to be going through full safe executions of doing the procedure on a dummy head. I think it's really important for students, especially when they're learning, to master on a dummy head or practice pads before they ever go on to a real skin. Then I'm going to get her on my special practice mounds that I have created through the help of Vicki Martin. And I'm very excited about that. So we have those practice mounds that Vicki has created the skins, and then I found a firm mound that they can go on. So that's really exciting, so that she can practice what it feels like to have the density underneath with a very, very fine layer of silicone. And then once she's comfortable and I feel she's ready, then we'll go on to a live model, but not until then. SMP is something that you cannot learn in 2 days. I mean, look at how much we've learned in these last 2 days. And
I don't know how people teaching classes in 2 days.
Yeah, and this is the problem, and why a lot of people are contacting me constantly, is because they've taken these 2-day or 3-day classes and they don't know anything. They don't know color theory. Most of them have Most of them have never learned about bloodborne pathogens. So all of these things are really important, and I think when you're looking for a practitioner, there's a lot of great practitioners out there in the States. We've got Pam Neighbors down in Oregon. We've got, Valerie Weber. She does an amazing course. We've got Jonathan Garreau out in New York, and Matthew as well, who's in New York and is now opened up in LA. He's down in California. So there's some really great practitioners out there that are teaching, but sadly there's a lot of hacks out there and a lot of people that are out for this. You know, if you see someone and they're coming into town and they don't have a prerequisites for bloodborne pathogens, or they're not able to support you in a long-term basis, be very wary about that. Sadly, with an unregulated industry like this, there's a lot of snake oil going on and a lot of people that are out for quick bucks, and they're all about showing the money and getting rich. And you know, you bought a machine from a supposedly reputable company, and you know, there's no ingredient list even on the pigments. The machine crapped out today, and it's like, how old is it?
New.
You know, new, right? So made in China, there's no membranes on the needles. So, but she didn't know what she didn't know, and now she's gonna have to buy a new machine because, you know, you can't work with a machine that's subpar and has backflow on the needles. And this is, you know, everybody out, you were charged $400 or $600 for that machine, and I bet you it cost them probably 50 bucks on Alibaba. And the needles, they wouldn't even pass health inspection. There's no lot number on them. There's no expiry date on them. There's no membrane in the back end. So they're great for practice. So she's gonna be practicing on it. But we're gonna get her with another machine, Amanda Rose from Hive Beauty. Beauty in Edmonton carries the Rook Quill, and we're going to get her on that with the Aurora 2 power source and get her on something that's quality, that's going to last her for her career, and she's going to be able to use universal needles in it that are all contain barrier membranes on them, diaphragms in the back. So is there anything you want to add about this?
Actually, I just want to say with the machine, I did a ton of research, and this company actually does clients day to day with this, and there's tons of videos all over YouTube of them using it, which is why I bought it. So
wow,
I'm really shocked.
Well, sadly, it's you know, again, people only know what they know, and you know, it's sad, and the machine is also aluminum, so it's something that over time you wouldn't be able to sterilize very often because the sterilant is going to break it down. So, you know, look for quality devices, you know, talk to other SMP artists, talk to PMU artists, go to the SPCP, that is the Society for Permanent Cosmetic Practitioners, and they have a resource that has reputable artists as well as reputable trainers throughout Canada, the US, and international. And we work by a code of ethics. It took me 8 years before I was able to become a CPCP trainer. I'm very proud to hold that designation. I'm one of 2 in Canada, and I've had to work very, very hard for it to get there. And would you say I'm strict?
Very strict, but in a good way. Yeah.
In a good way, because hey, safety's first, and you know, you don't want to be out there hurting people, and you only know what you know.
Exactly.
So do your homework, make some phone calls, check resources, check credentials, and make sure that if you're going into a field like this, that you get the proper training. You don't waste your money. I see it over and over and over again. People coming into town for $3,500, they're doing a 2-day class, and the people are left dangling and have no knowledge really on what to do. Sure, you could hammer a bunch of holes in someone's head, but is it quality? Is it going to look good? Is it going to be natural? And is it going to be safe? So I want to, do it right the first time, right? And you researched me, did you not?
Yes, I found her through SPC. SPCP.
So the SPCP. And did you talk to other practitioners too?
A couple, yes.
And what made you go with me out of, I mean, there's other artists even in town that do this. So what made you choose me opposed to other people?
Well, it was just your passion and the way that, and you're going to teach me in a in-depth way.
Yes.
Not just to get my money, but you're giving me so much more than what I paid for. For sure.
That's good. Well, I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah.
So do your homework, and I'm always open if you want to email me or give me a call. I'm happy to help. You know, it's training is something that I'm very passionate about. I don't do mass classes. This is one-on-one for her, and I've completely customized the class for her because of her knowledge level. So I think it's really important. So you've also walked away with a massive kit, so she's very
huge.
stocked and ready to go. And I'm excited. I can't wait. She's a natural. I can't wait to see her work on our first client. I know that I'm going to be a proud mama for sure.
Thank you.
So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing. And if people want to follow you on Instagram, where would they find you?
At Holy Hair. At Holy Hair.
Yeah, and it's how spell it because I had trouble.
HOLEYHAIR.
Great. And I'm BEAUTYINK at beautyink.ca and BEAUTYINK on Instagram with the registration mark. And you're able to follow me as well. You can direct message me there. It's not a problem. And if you want to call me, I'm at 604-639-3609. So thanks so much, guys, for tuning in, and I look forward. And thank you so much for sharing. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. You know, this amazing, amazing teacher.
Aww.
You can't beat it.
Oh, you're very sweet. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys on the next day, and we'll share more then. So, bye for now.
Cheers.